Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
What we are going to do? We are going to see the authorization inside the app in Access. Basically, authorization in the sense it's a condition only. Like if we match the particular attribute is equal to something means then we can allow the user or else we can reject the user. Basically, that is what even that is for one page. Just one resources we can able to give it. Within an application, we can give it for one user, one resources or two, basically. For example, let's open Apache directory. I think Bing directory was opening in the last time. Here, can you expand any one of the use? Can you expand? Any one of the user who is equal to people. Under who is equal to people. Maybe we can put motion also. Suppose if you click on the motion there IT. This is your primary user here. Suppose, if you remember, we did the same concept in the issue and try to inside the ping fed. Suppose the location L is equal to us means we can allow the user. If L is not equal to us means we can reject the user. That is what we did, if you remember that one. Here if you see L is equal to us, the same configuration, we can do it for the ping access also. Suppose if the application is asking, please allow only the country as people. If the people who is part of us means they can allow, they can access the application page. If the user is not part of the us means they cannot access the page. For example, there are certain applications inside the application. Indian people can visit one kind of Indian web page. Us people can visit us pages. That kind of an option. We can able to do it by using this kind of authorization, basically. That kind of a change, we are going to do it inside the ping access. It's not basically like a pure or it's not basically like a kind of a traditional. If or inside the one or two applications, basically inside the same application we are going to see more than for one resource or two resources, we can assign the authorization maybe like more, like a kind of a fine-grained authorization or fine-tuned authorization. Basically, here in this case, if L is equal to us means we can allow the user. If L is not equal to us means we can reject it. This is based on the attribute or in the token. If we need to authorize means you need to send the attribute inside the token because there is no way ping access can get this kind of attributes. Normally we are sending the attributes in a token only MI. By using that, inside the token we need to send the attribute. Suppose if you are sending L attribute means, then we can match the value. Obviously in your token UID is equal to motion will send and similarly L is equal to us will send. If it is matching, it will allow. If it is not matching, we'll reject it. Let us do that. First, you need to send this attribute inside the token, where we are generating the token in the ping federator. In the ping federator, normally we are sending a lot of attributes in the access token. Along with that, you need to send this attribute also, basically extra attributes claim. I am point understood. That is what we are going to do it here. Can you go to the applications and access token manager? Only we are having that attribute configuration in the token manager. Here only we are having the attributes. First you need to create a variable then you need to pass the value to the token. Then you can match it in the pink access. If you need any attribute, we need to do the same stuff. I think we are using JWT. The first one, JWT, the second token. The result, we are using it in the pink access settings. Can you click on the JWT is a can one? Yes, I am just seeing. Ma'am, we are using this one for the client any 2 to 3 clients. I am just making notes when we are talking that, and we can also get one. Yes. Now if you hear, we are already sending first name, last name, mail, mobile number, and all along with that, we need to add extra attribute. Let us put the name as maybe Yell, attribute name as Yell. Just put the Yell. That fine, Yell, or location? That fine. But the attribute name, we need to match it with the pink access also. Then you are configuring in the pink access. When you do that, you need to match it with whatever you are giving it here. You need to give the same thing in the pink access also, add it. Save, that's all. After saving it, you need to pass the value. L should be country is the variable name. What is the attribute name in the L is the attribute name. In the access token mapping only, we need to get that attribute in the left-hand side. Click on the token mapping. We are passing the variables from there only. I think we are using policy contract one. No, this one. Can you go back access token mappings? Which one we are using in the left-hand side? No, this is a different token. Oh, second one. There is J. Here see, the country is there. But first we need to get the attribute. Where we are going to get the L attribute in the L tab, only in the left-hand side. Attribute sources user lookup in the top the heading. Click on that one. Other attributes and all, we are getting it from the L tab only. The same thing, we are going to get extra one attribute also, that is the location. Getting my point? Similarly how? No, we need to get it first of all. I think you need to get that attribute. Click on the attribute source and user. Look up in the top yes L tab. Already we have added it. Click on the one. Here in the source, the directory search, we are getting all the attributes. Please get that our attribute also. There is the L. Here show all attributes in the select option in the left hand side. There is a select option. Yes, click on it and you can. There is an option to show all attributes. Now you can get that L. You can type it L. If you type L, it will automatically come. Type now yes. It's not coming. It's gone. Add attribute and click on save. It will throw on your other. It will redirect to that point. See now here country, we are putting the source as L tab and L. This is how we can able to get it. Let's review it and save it. That's all. Now this is fine. Now we need to pass it in the wide is also because we are using wide is also here. Yes, first attribute source, user lookup, then whatever the sources we have configured. That is the L tab. And then inside the L tab, directory search, add the attribute, then pass it in the variable which you have created. Getting my point? Yes, just one, I'm just making. Yes. Under attribute source and user lookup L tab, directory search and then attribute name L added. Then in this passed attribute L to the country. 4 steps. You guys are using pin access already installed now in your organic, in your system, in your environment. Yes. Yes, in the contract fulfillment passed the area passed attribute L to the variable name called country. Why we are putting the variable name in that we can use it in the other system in the token. It will pass country is equal to us for the particular user. That's why the variable names country first name. This must be matched with the application side also. Maybe the application will tell you before itself. I need this attribute. Please put it in this variable. Suppose if they tell you, please use the same thing. Suppose if they didn't say anything means you can use your own variables also. But if they mentioned some variables, please use the same variable name from the application side because they match. They will be matching with the same variable. They may have written some coding to match the exact value. That's why. Not that thing. We are using pin for it now for only for federation parts for some places we are doing. For why do you see we are doing that? There is this combination of one side that the people don't want to go contact vendor just for them. It's going to be a lot of work. I was just pushing to go look in prison. I saw not currently. It's very close to you. No, but like the 1 star. I think it might take some time in your migrating. And then, even with you, to migrate. Also, I think the question is if on-site might or expand to like that you can do authentication and then on the domain side you're pulling in, but a way that you can use PIN for it to do all the authentication and the link site manager and for structure that it gets a site manager session that will be able to do. In the format without, and then in the back end, we will still use site manager to pass the headers and stuff like that. That way there won't be the application. Go on port. All those headers and everything because it's being accessed. You can go cheese and everything. When you're migrating from site minded to the pin access, you need to use the exact header name, which is that means the available name or header name, whatever used in the site minded. After copy, paste the same thing into the pin access in the identity mapping, which we create in the authentication system. In that one, you need to do the same concept, then only it will work or it won't work. And what that means is because of the view that site minded is set up. Do a lot of headers for every application and not all of them. Then we done a little bit further. We have to involve pin access also because if you don't want any change to the application site. And that means almost for more 28 applications, you have to put pin access. 28 underwins. It will take lots of time. It will take years. I don't know. That's what we're debating. What a little bit site minded is in the world. It's not. It's very heavy, There are some companies, they modern standard, that have not used site minted like that. All the music for the application. No authorization. Just the policy only has 2 things and for that move into ping. Related very simple. But I mean anyway, because site minded I think, maybe you are client assault, maybe they may have used the site minded for me. We've been early 15 to 20 years, that many kind of years they are using it now, suddenly shifting to pin access. It definitely could take time action. And this is not an easy migration. Also because to 200, 800 applications and all it's I don't know, like 1 year, maybe 100 application only we can able to migrate. It's without changing the application side configuration. Because this migration is when we did the migration, the same thing. Oracle Access Manager also. We did for the PIN access the same, but only 40 application. It took nearly 3 years. It's for only 40 application. I'm saying because the headers and all it's like we need to use the same thing. Even here we involve a lot of application changes also. Basically, it's like too complex action is because that's a yes, Oracle Access Manager or CSI plan and all they have been there for nearly 20 years. My client, they were having it for nearly 20 years. This Oracle Access Manager and all. Like for the past 6 years. Only we are consuming the pin fed on other stuffs. That is why this pin fed is easy. That is easy. Migration between you are doing the pin access. That is the problem will come. But problem means our site is too easy. Our site is configuration. Our site configuration is too simple. Only is that the application should have to support that same head as that will give a problem. For us, like the configuration wise, it's too simple. Everything is easy. We saw that it's easy to put the authentication and authorization. Every rules and everything is already there in the pin access. You just have to use it. But whether we can able to do it without any application changes, that is a question mark. Because when you are using lot of headers again and again and again, definitely we will make mistake or we cannot get the exact. Suppose if they're using like 20 headers or something like that, that is fine. But if it is going more than that, each and every application asking for separates a product, that is the problem will come if each and every application is asking for separates a product, headers. For example, same as means. I can use the same identity mapping which we create in the pin access. We can use the identity mapping for most of the applications. But if every application is using different headers, that's a headache. We need to play it. A configuration is too simple. You are going to repeat the configuration. But it will get a little bit irritating because we are going to do the same thing again and again and again for multiple applications. Why can't they use the same thing for all the applications? It's too simple. But configuration wise, if you see it as an overall perspective, it's simple. But it will consume time. We need to be slow, only it cannot be done at a faster pace and all just. We need to do it in a slow pace only, like take one application at a time and we need to configure it and then test it and then go to the production. That's all we need to take maybe prioritize each application. Prioritize the application which we need to go in this 6 months or in this quarter or something. Try to do it in the deal. Then take another batch of application. Maybe first 5 application this quarter, next to 5 application, next 5 application. Like that we can prioritize. Then if you proceed with that means but first compute the ping for it. Don't we cannot complete everything at the ping for it level. Then take, if application required, both ping for it and ping access. First complete the ping for it, then go for ping access. Take 5 to 10 application in each quarter and then do it. I'm just saying in 5 to say 10 application for just an example. But if it is going more than that means, for example, I don't know like to the same item application. I don't know how long it will take because it definitely will. It's going to take, but maybe first successfully. If you complete 10 application, other application will become easy. First 10 application is the most. It's the most important case we need to follow. If you complete that 10 application left from 11th application, it will automatically. It will definitely work because it's like you get used to it and then. Because of even you can take one application first. Application is the most tricky one. If it is successful, you can able to easily go with the other applications till the end. It will go faster. This first to like 1 to 10 application. The most priority application is the They are the most important applications. Also, maybe the application will be accessible by a lot of people. The application will have most revenue inside the organization. Those kind of an applications are the risky one or the we need to. There will be like more. We can spend some time on that application. Also, we can concentrate, we can. If we complete it, then other application will automatically it will go. It's easy. Just take first 10 application. Obviously they were your client will have proper priority applications. Take that one first. Take one application first couple. Just if you test it successfully in there, then we can go for next application. Test it in there. Do the exact same thing in the production. Don't do any changes from day to a production. Please copy exact same name. Everything like whatever we are giving the name, identity mapping or the website and application name, everything. To please give the same thing from the day and then the production. Don't. Or else you can put it separately. You can make one more environment like stage or something like maybe like a pre-product or production. Do the same thing, whatever you are about to do it in the production, in the pre-product itself, complete that, then go to production for maybe first 10 application. If you try, it will be difficult to configure, but after that it will automatically, you will get used to it. This is the process I followed. In Pinfinity is the way to customize the actual. We can customize the actual header way to look like whatever is inside my door. We can put it header variable and all. We can put anything we want, whatever the application required the header name. We can put the same thing in the like when you are creating the reference idea adapter or open to the adapter, you can give that same header name. For example, let's say the header name is IAM_header name _ username or something like. That means I can use the same thing in the same thing, federate and ping access. But the header name is to like the exact header name. We need to get it from the site, mind. That is the problem because when I did one application from the Oracle Access Manager, there is a policy manager in the same, which is there in the This is an issue the Oracle Access Manager. What is the problem? That means suddenly that header value we cannot be able to export it from the Oracle Access Manager. We just have to open the console and then copy the same thing and paste it here at the time like manual mistake or human mistake will have it happened. We just copy paste it wrongly. When we do the testing and that data is not working perfectly because every time the claims is not we are passing the claims but application agent, they are not able. That there is not able to get it because of the sometimes this kind of unnecessary issue also will come. Head of name is the most important one that we cannot ignore. That one when we do the export in Excel sheet or something like that, they can export it in the site menu. I think we can export that. I think the header name, I think we can export in the site mindr. If you can able to do that, put it in the Excel sheet. This application that had us means we can easily copy paste in the ping fed. We cannot do the bulk import. Instead of ping fed each application, we can do one by one. Go ahead. Yes, I think we have configured the yellow attribute here. You can save it as of now. Once we got the yellow attribute here, this is fine, but we need to put it in the YDC also. That means in the ID token also. We need to put some time. Ping access also will verify. We'll expect that yellow attribute. The same attribute should be there in the ID token. That is the YDC policy in the left-hand side. Not here. What happened in the here? Only in the left-hand side, YDC policy management. Click on that one. Here, in this case, the same LAT. I think we are using the JView to OpenID. I think the first one, click on it and attributed contract here, the same L attribute you can add. It here, put L added. We are sorry. I think country writes, oh sorry, country is the variable name. Sorry. Variable name is country. I think C in uppercase. Yes, yes, dot it added, and if you click on save, it will automatically redirect to the contract fulfillment. Yes, now this one is ID token only. You can pass it from the access token to ID token. The same country attribute. Save it. Now this is fine. Now we got the attribute here. This is easy. Now we got the attribute in the token. Now we put the attribute in the token. From the token, we need to get that attribute and put it inside the condition that is in the ping access. Now that this is what the most important, but because attribute sending in the token, that's fine, that is easy. In the ping access, can you go to the ping access? There is a rule we need to create, but before that in the header we need to pass it. Can you go to the ping access? Once, and I'm just making. Yes, first in the token manager we need to create a variable. Next, in the access token mappings, get the L attribute from the LD and pass it to the variable. Then for ID token YDC policy, we created the attribute country again and pass the value from the access token to the ID token. Contract fulfillment. In the contract fulfillment, we are passing the access token attribute to the country. That means access token to the ID token. Just we are putting the attribute since the ID token for just validating purposes. That's all. Nothing else. This is not going to mostly, it's not going to use it in the condition, but just we are for the validation purposes. We are using it. That's all. Clear on this one. This 1 second is done. Yes. And similarly, we can add multiple conditions also. This condition we have given, L is equal to us. Similarly, we can add more extra one also. That is also, we will see that. Not extra one, we can do multiple conditions. Any one of them, if it is good, if it lacks subtraction. This is the one part of the old pink field which I thought was the next cluster. Because there is already a thing it is broken, maybe creating that in the access program. All of this, they should be able to get from there rather than me having to do the extra stuff. That is what in Okta and all, it will automatically take it from the access token to the ID token. But in pink field, we are managing extra cons of 2. For whatever the access token we are passing, you put the same attribute to the ID token, means we need to do one extra step. Overall, like the clients which are sending an ID token only, that is only one part. Suppose if the application doesn't want that, you can leave that. For example, there are certain applications. Personally, I feel that is not required. But sometimes they will ask, hey, I need an attribute in ID token too. The application will say. But finally, if you see it in the application perspective, they won't even validate ID token. They won't even take care about ID token. They don't care about it, just only access token. Then why they are asking us to pass the attributes in ID token also? That is not even required. In my personal opinion, that's not required, but still. Finally, I will see my first one. Yes. That is what, even in the description also, if you have suppose, if you forget why this policy required means. In the description also, you can see that in the hand side, the attributes to be sent in the ID token in the response. That's all. But only if it is required. If it is not required, let it be there. For like now and all, if there any new application coming up means. I'm just asking the question. Just use the normal token. It's just don't use ID token like that. It's like if you're creating again and again and again, there is no point. It's like you're basically saying, use the work token other than use that. All exactly. Just access stuff and that's all. Because sometimes the application team is doing extra call. That's a waste of one AP call again. The application. Lot of records coming to the pink ferret also. Even application is doing a lot of API calls to the pink ferret. That's not good. Just they need code 1 versus AP second token AP. That's all. Do the validation, that's all. Why they need to do extra one call for the ID token also? I feel that's not required in the sense, but certain applications are built in that way also. In that case, definitely we need to use that one. Even if you take a ping access that is developed in that way, you need to pass it in the token plus, you need to pass it in the ID token also. We cannot change that behavior. It is the ID token, for example. The refresh token is always sent for the access token. There is no token for the ID token. No, you can do that. I mean, there is no toRefresh token for both. I mean, for both it's the same token. If you click on the YDC JBT, there is an option. If you want to refresh the ID token during the access token refresh, that is also. I mean, for example, when you're refreshing the access token, new ID token also will get generated. You just have to check one box. Click on that one, YDC JWT. In that option itself, click on the Manage Policy, the first one. Here in the last option, we sorry return ID token on the refresh grant last above option. If you check that box when you're refreshing the access token, one more ID token also will get generated. ID token also will get refreshed. But ID token is valid for only 5 minutes. This is just for identification, just to trigger the authentication, that's all. Nothing else. And also don't increase this lifetime 5 minutes online. Because these are all it's like, not a. If you are increasing the lifetime of ID token, you are exposing the details to the up-in. If any other person try to intercept and get the ID tokens, they can also access the user attributes. And then, because for ID token, if you are hitting the user info endpoint, they can easily get the user details. That's not a good option. That's why it's only 5 minutes, and within that family, it will get expired. Because you are not going to enable the session based on the ID token, only for attributes. That's all. You're getting my point. You can enable this option return ID token in refresh current. Just for that means that this will allow the ID token also to get to a face. Yes, during the refresh token API call. Not only the access token will get refreshed automatically, ID token also will get generated and new ID token will get generated. Without asking the user to type the username and password. Some applications are consuming this one, like when they are validating the when they are validating the ID token, getting the attributes from the ID token. They want this to be validated again one more time when they get the new. When they do the access token refreshed, they want to get the ID token also to get the attributes. Just for validation purposes. I see, but the attributes that didn't from the access token anyways. No, that is what they are not doing, that one. The thing is that some applications are built in that way to do both the calls to check access token plus ID token. Both the tokens, they are doing the validation. That is what the application was, how they are, why they are developing like this. Sometimes it's good. Some application they don't. They will say we don't need ID token or we don't need the YDC. We're just going to use the traditional what I will get, the attributes from the access token itself. Some application will say, hey, I need access token, but I'm not going to get the attributes from the access token. I will do the user info, that is a YDC endpoint to get the user attributes. They won't do validator access token, or they won't get the attributes from the access token. They will do it in a different way. That is what the Opta system or the cloud system will come into the picture. Good option. In the Opta, you cannot get the address from the access token. Definitely, you need to put it in the ID token, getting my point. In PinkFed, they are in the access token also. You can see the attributes. In the ID token also, you can pass the attributes here like this two ways. But in Opta or cloud-based yes also system, you need to use the YDC, that end user info endpoint, only to get the user information. If you want to validate the access token, you can get the token is valid or not. That's all, that only response. You cannot get the user attributes from it. You need to do the user info endpoint to get the attributes from the ID token, that is mandatory for them. Why can't you do that in Opta, whether they're in the series? It's like they have developed like in that different way. When I tested this one, I felt the same. When I tested that particular token, access token AP, I called to validate it. I thought the user attributes also will come, but when I see the user database didn't come. When I tested, the scope is called to OpenID with the user info endpoint. With the token in that endpoint, only I got the attributes. I didn't get the attributes in the token validation. If you remember, we get the token validation endpoint. When we do the token validation, also access token validation, we got the attributes in the API post pan. Similarly, when we do the user info, the ID token value also we did and attributes we got. You're getting my point. 2 times validation. Also, we got the attributes in the PinkFed and we got the attributes in the user info endpoint. And that is the ID token attribute because we are passing it. But in the opt on DOL, there isn't configuration for that. There is no two configuration, only one configuration. Simply passed that's all. In the drop down, you can able to pass it and you can pass it in the attributes and it is storing in the ID token. There is what the case. They have developed like that. But I mean, there is the way they are saying it's too easy to simple. I mean, definitely there is too easy. But you're saying that in order to do cannot pass access to it. No, you can pass the access token. Access token will work. There is for enabling the session and then there is for enable the SSO. That's all. You can pass the attributes, but for validating it, they are using the ID token, basically for getting the user information. They are skipping that one part. That is why they are saying it's YDC, not OAuth. Here in PinkFed, we are calling OAuth plus YDC two things. But in opt-on, they will say only YDC, not OAuth. That is, if you ask any Okta person, oh, we are using YDC like that, they will say not OAuth. All the cloud resource system, they are saying it's YDC, not OAuth. When I take one interview, you are working in the opt-on. That is like Okta guy. You are mentioning every time. I just mentioned, have you worked in OAuth? Like that. You are asking, do you mean YDC? Like that. I said it's IDC only. And DC. Did you work in different type of grant? Then only every time you said in YDC, not you didn't mention in OAuth. That is what they get used to it like that. Even in the pink one, advanced services I was mentioning in the pink one. Similarly, pink one. Yes, it's also there inside the pink one. Also, they never mention OAuth, it's YDC. There is what I don't know, that I don't know the reason behind why the cloud systems are saying only YDC, not the OAuth. But I think this is fine. Let's go to the pink axis. Let's configure that attribute mapping. But we need to go to the identity mapping first in the access. In the top identity mapping first we need to pass header. In the identity mapping, edit this one. Already we are getting all the headers. Just we need to get one more header. Put the name as just put country only. That's fine. Scroll down just to add that row, extra row, and get the attribute. And extra row and country in the drop-down, you can easily get it. Please use the same value. Yes, country. It's, I think, coming up in the hand side. Also use the same country and save it. Now we got the attribute. Now let's create a rule. That's it. There is a condition. Let's save this one. What are these? These are left-hand side or token values from the pink head. Hand side will go to the application. The head does. Left-hand side or the pink sided attributes which is available from the token hand side, from the token to the header and send it to the application. Application will get this kind of head, as in the name. What are the C's? User underscore, country also there is. You know, there is some of which, wherever the application wish, they are giving it. We can put it, for example, in the CSI commander, you will receive the headers, same headers. You need to use it in the hand side. We should not miss. Match it for better purposes. Use everywhere same thing, in the left hand side, in the pink sided, and also user underscore, country user underscore. I'm using the same thing everywhere. It's the same thing that I won't confuse myself. Yes, that is also one of the easiest way when you use everything everywhere. This is the header. I will use the same thing. Even though if it is long, that's fine. For example, for me, I am user underscore user. Full name, I am user underscore user. Give a name. I am user underscore user. Yes, and I am user underscore user email address. It's like 2, and that is also an uppercase. It's like even though if it is too long, that's fine. Copy, paste it. That's fine. I mean, when you're configuring multiple applications, you will get used to those things. Even I still remember these things because it's like when you're spending much time, you won't even forget what things you have configured. You cannot forget. That is also when you're working in a single project, in a single team for this 6 years continuously. You cannot forget anything. Now let's create a rule, the last and final rule. There is an SD web session attribute rule in the left-hand side. Let's click on the rules. Let's add the rule in the top rules. Even in the top left-hand side, top first one, a rule. Sexually, we are going to create a rule. The rule means it's a condition we can say. Or it's one different conditions we can put for authorization. Yes, now here this rule is known as the web session attribute rule. Maybe we can put v's attribute. Web session means v's in short form. There are a lot of rules. We'll see one by one. Yes, in the type version, a web session attribute rule will be there. Scroll down. See that web session attribute. Yes, now here, add a row now. This is where the condition and there is a negate option. That is the opposite. What are the condition you are putting? This is positive condition. This is a case sensitive equal to that value. Negate option is there. Click on that question mark in the negate option in the bottom. Yes, that means again here in this one, whatever it's an opposite. For example, when you put L attribute, a case sensitive to us means it will accept that it won't deny whatever the condition you are given. It will be going as a true value. Suppose if you need the opposite. For example, let's say L, who are part of us, does not want to be authorized, means you need to click on the negate action. Getting my point, it's an opposite. Now first let the positive if put country state or build, and you can put case sensitive, the same thing, or case insensitive also. We can put that is our vision way or save it now. Yes, now we need to assign this rule to an application that we can able to make this work. It's too simple, and also we can customize this one. We will also do it when using the session in the know. This is attribute website should mean it's a client, any in the client area in the token. We are passing this attribute. That is why it is called as a web session. It means you are getting it from the token action. That's what we're seeing. The rule name is web session. In our other words, it's a token attribute or it's like alias action. Let's apply this one in the applications. Let's go to the applications in the top. Already we put the query. There is one application. I think we have one resources already. The authentication resource is already there. Can you expand this one? Already. Resources. Go to the resources. The root resource, we are using it for the protection for the authentication. Can expand that root resource I edited. Go to the web policy. In the policy only we are assigning the rules here already. Authentication is did rewrite. Rule is tape this one. We need to add this one in the middle. That means after authentication, before redirection. Add it in the middle first. Should other, it's there in the number one. Add it in the middle. This is, they have put it in. I think rewrite rule should be at last this kind of option there, added now recently. This is because previously or not. That's fine. It will automatically take it, but this is like recently, only they have added it. We need to rearrange it properly, save it. Why VI? Because my question is, why are we adding it here? We need to assign it for a page, for example in our application. There are two pages. One is content build. It will go without authentication any other pages in your application. If it is coming up, it should have to go through go through with the authentication first, next authorization, next redirection. Getting my point? That's why we have assigned the rules like this. The application is. After that there is a resources. Go to the resources. There are two resources. We have added one contact email. It will go without authentication, simply will go apart from contact or HTML. If there is any other page in your application, it should have to go through with the authentication. And then there is one rule for authentication. There is a P option, which we did the next one. Can you go to the web policy? Yes, one is authentication. Second one is recently now we have added that is authorization. The last one, the redirection which we did, if you remember that one. A less one, which we have did like, if you put any URL, it should have to show the contents of the original one. That is the one. Now let's write string something. Yes, now if it is the, for example, index HTML means first it will go through the authentication. After completing the authentication, it will check whether you are part of us or not. If it is dead, then it will go to the third rule, that is, it will rewrite to the proper one. What was the year? I think your HTTP is colon double slash your desktop, your 3000. Yes, even you can put abc.html because we have the right role in the place. Authentication is happening now. The first rule is getting displayed. Now the second rule will be the us if you are already part of us. That's fine. See, your us is done. And then the rewrite rule. It won't apply here because you're accessing the index.html directly. That's fine. You got the page. Now let's go to the rule that let's do the negative option, Let's check that negative in the access rule. When we want to test a negative flow, we can simply put the negative option here, edit it. Yes, check that box and then save it. That's all, but test it in the continuo. You can copy the same URL and paste it. Yes, it should have to throw error before itself. This is the most important rule 100%. Every application, every organization will follow this rule. Negative option if you need. If anything required, we can use or else we will leave it as it is. See, that's all this error. If you want to customize it, that is also we can see. Can you go back to that? That is not a state rejection handler. You're getting my point. You got the error that access denied or something. Can edit it here. There is an option to edit here. Show advanced settings. Yes, you got that error. What is the error? You got it. What is that rejection handler? That means it will reject your configuration based on the condition. There is a concept called rejection handler in the left-hand side. Just click on it. Top left-hand side. There is a yes here. Normally default template. It is available for this if the response code is. This is for a PA. Suppose there is an app call for the same thing which is not coming up. Forbidden means 493. It will have one here. We will see that. Where is this file is there? I'll show you that one. But can you go back one step? The default one, which is for your web application. Here in the last one, that is a normal template. That is a HTML template. We are having it. Suppose if you need a different concept or something that is also we can do. This is a HTML template. Suppose in an HTML template, the content type in the drop down there is one. In the next line, there is a HTML, or you need a text format, or you need a content. Everything you can able to see it here. Suppose even the HTML form, if I want to customize it, that is also we'll see that option. Maybe on Monday, we'll see this one, how we can able to customize that. The error it is simply accesses to it. But if I want to change it to, you are not authorized or something like that. If you want to, for example, can you go back one step? I'll show you one more. Some application they need a different page, different error page to be displayed. For that, for example, one specific application, they are asking to, hey, a ping rate or ping tip. I need a different error message to be displayed. Maybe they got the error, but they don't like the error. They want to change it. They don't want to access its done image. We can create a separate page for HTML also and then put it. That is also we can create. We cannot put it in the default one. We need to create it as separate one in the top hand side. That will see it on Monday, that rejection handler. That is what the access is denied error. You understood this one? Yes. On Monday we will create 4 to 5 rules again. The different rules are available. We'll see one by one. And there is one customized rule is also there. That is also. We will see that some kind of coding. We will doing it. That we will see that. Then we will also create a separate rejection handler also. Once you complete that, like 90% will be completing it. Then one class. We will be doing it for the agent method action. Then we will complete that. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.